Welcome back to this CSS series. We are moving straight into the box model. The CSS box model is the foundation of layout on the web. The box model is the term used to describe the rules surrounding the physical properties of all HTML elements. So, basically, you can think it this way. Every single element on your web page is considered to be in a rectangular box: texts, images, form, everything. And the properties of each box is width, height, border, margin, and padding. These define not only the size of an element, but also how it relates to the element around it. Let's start with the basics here. We've got a visual representation of a paragraph. Moving from the inside out, the first property I want you to notice is the element's edge. If you don't specify a width or a height, then that's determined automatically based on how much space the content takes up. You could just specify with a width and the height would be calculated automatically. So in this case, let's say that the element is 100 pixels. By default, in the CSS box model, the box sizing property is set to content box. That means if you set an element to 100 pixels, as in this case, then just the content box equals that 100 pixels. Any borders or padding would be added on top of that. The next thing we encounter is padding. Padding is the space added to an element outside the element's edge. And take note, you can define padding individually for the top, right, bottom, or left sides of an element. When you add padding, you increase the size of the box accordingly. So here we've got 100 pixel wide box with 20 pixels of padding on all sides. That would give us a total of 140 pixels of total width. To change that behavior, you could change the box sizing property to a border box, which tells the browser to account for any border and padding in the overall width that you can specify for an element. Wrapping around the padding is the border. Now, while padding is just clear space, a border is visible and can have color and thickness applied to it. Like padding, a border can be applied specifically from top to right to bottom to left. It can also be styled as solid, dotted, dashed, or a few other options. Hope we are still together. Finally, we have margin. This represents the space outside the border, and it's used to define the space between elements on a page. Like padding, it's simply space and can be defined specifically for each side of the element: top, right, bottom, left. Now, unlike padding and borders, margin do not factor into the overall width of the element. The box model itself really isn't too difficult once you start to look at it, but there are a few gotchas that can get you if you're not careful. First, just because a property isn't declared, don't assume that its value is 0. Remember that all browsers have default styles, and if you don't override them, the default value will be applied. It is also quite common to see authors set the width of an element to 100% in order to try and make it fit fully with the parent element. For the most part, that's okay. But unless you're using that box sizing property, any values for borders and padding will force that total width to be over 100%. There are certainly other aspects besides these to the box model. These are the basic ones that allow you to control the dimensions of an element on a page. Are you good? I will advise you see this video at least twice, as it will equip and prepare you for the practicals coming up. Thanks for watching. We're moving straight into working with colors in the next video. Stay tuned and kindly subscribe to our platform.